we got to give him the opportunity to try and, explain himself. Maybe we're wrong. Hold on, I will try to be as neutral as possible. Wait, am I blocked? Wait, what does that little red X mean? This man blocked me and didn't even message me. Wow, dude, he's so salty. Okay, hold on. All right, so now I'm logged in as Stefan Balchunas, the guy who's an employee at Fluper, according to the comment. Here he is. I can see everything. Anyways, let's message him. We're gonna give him a fair shake. I sent him proof that this is my account. Maybe we should give the man a call. 12:54 a.m. Let's give him a ring-a-ding. What you think? All right, well, suit yourself. All right, boys, I hope you're ready for some of that refined drama. I had the chance to actually confront the CEO that I have been making videos about, past 2 or 3 videos, on Instagram. And at first he didn't respond because he blocked me, but then he unblocked me and we had a 3-hour-long conversation where I basically poke at everything that I roasted him for in the previous videos. And I wanted to give this man a fair shake. I wanted to give this man an opportunity to share his side of things for why he runs the company the way he does. My initial impressions were that this man can really lay on the charm. He starts complimenting me and saying that he actually likes my videos. Why is he complimenting me? Is this a tactic? This must be a tactic. That's forehead, that was so funny. I love your videos, by the way. What the f happening? But I just want to let you guys decide for yourselves if you think this man is genuine and he really can't change the way he runs his company because that's how all companies in India run, as he says, or if he's full of it. I asked him and he said, yeah, go ahead and put this on YouTube. I want to see everyone's opinion. So that's what we're gonna do. So leave a like because this took freaking forever to take 3 hours of Instagram texting and put it down in like 8 minutes. The first text I want you to look at is actually from someone else that messaged Anshul before me. You said that you were gonna take legal action against Josh. Well, why didn't you? He says, this YouTuber who roasts every Indian company, hates even celebration of Indian festivals and culture, calls them cringe. You guys trust him blindly. Basically, he's just saying that I'm some form of racist here. When I show you and I ask him this exact thing, he said, it's no hard feelings, it was just my legal team. So again, this kind of prompts me to further not believe what he's saying, but you can see right here, he is replying to that comment as well. He says, it was shared by legal team, my friend, and it was because he showed some information with logo and team photos and our client pics too, which was not in the public domain. Anshul, everything I used in that video that you sent me the legal threat for was in the public domain. It was all LinkedIn, YouTube, and your website. That was all public domain, things that you're using for advertising. Here's the first example where he contradicts himself. He says, hi dear, apologies, I don't block anybody actually. Let me check. He says, apologies, unblocked you there. So he says he doesn't block anybody. Actually, I just unblocked you. I said, I'm curious about the things that people that work for you say. He said, well, you should speak to some real members of the team. Isn't that a real, no true Scotsman? Right? Aren't all members of the team real members of the team? I don't understand. Okay, so right here, he responds to my question about the person on LinkedIn that is calling him a fraud company. And then he responds to my question about how they deduct money when their office equipment breaks. You can see he says, number 1, I'm not going to comment on the people saying I owe them money. Number 2 says, if someone breaks or damages or misplaced property of company, we need to be a bit strict with them. Just officially, by the way. We just do this to maintain the office culture and property, my friend, not for earning 400 rupees because that's what they deducted from someone. He said, that's very lame. We don't just do it to nickel and dime people. By the way, nobody actually pays the deductions that we take. We don't even want them to pay. It's just to make them realize that respect the office and property. Our cleaning team works very hard to keep this clean. If they don't keep it clean, then we need to be strict so that everybody abides by it. So you just threaten them with taking their money. So here he's saying, if someone can't perform, should we still pay them? And I'm like, well, if it's salary, you're paying for work getting done all the time. You don't really get to decide the quality of work. You have to pay the salary no matter what. It's not a contract job. It's not a project by project basis. And you can see my response here. I just said to him, do you think it's fair that people have to give you 60-day notice, but you can fire them whenever? Basically, he says the reason behind it is that people leave too much, especially in the development sectors of India. People are highly unstable here because they get good opportunities. Yes, that's good for them, and I am not against good opportunities, but people leaving the company without a notice causes failure of processes, results in eventually revenue. He had a huge issue with people just wanting to leave their company at the next opportunity. He's like, that's not fair. But as we know, in the United States, that's life. That's just part of business. In my opinion, I think that a 2-month notice, or you have to pay, is crazy. It seems almost illegal to hold money you owe to someone if they leave without notice. I agree, but it isn't a rule I made. And then my first reaction was, wait, number one, you agree that it seems almost illegal to do that? Yeah, you do it anyways. You're the CEO. You're the boss man. You can change whatever policy you want. What do you mean it isn't a rule you made? And he said, this is a natural policy everywhere in 100% companies. So let me ask the people watching this video right now, is it 100% normal in every single company in India that you have to give 60-day notice, and if you don't, they take 2 months of your salary, or they don't give you your documents back so that you can apply to other jobs and move on with your life? Does every company in India do that? Because to me, that seems crazy, because how would he know that every single company in India does this? Another point I want to make is that in the employment contract that the employees sign, one of the bullet points of the contract is these terms can change at any time at our discretion. We get to decide. So he keeps saying it's not that easy to change the way that this company works, but you literally put that as a bullet point in the employment contract. I thought it would be fair to say, ideally, if you don't have to give notice, well, then neither should the employee. And then he says, well, if they want to be released early, we have done many early relievings as well. So I said, well, if you do that, do you make them pay for leaving early? And he said, no, absolutely not. I am against buyouts. It's not in our policy. We don't earn any money like this. And I said, it absolutely is in your policy. It's actually in this document right here. He responded to me and he said, I know you're not going to be satisfied with that answer. And I said, well, they have to sign a solid contract that you're free to change at your discretion. How is that fair? They have to say, yes, no matter what, I will give you 60 days. And you can say, you know what? On this case, yeah, you're free to go. But no, you can't go. That's not fair for anyone. That's not fair for any of the employees. I said, they have no power. And he said, they have as much power as they want. They are free to do whatever well, clearly they're not, because they're going to be incentivized to give you the 60-day notice because they want their money. We never really got to a solid conclusion on that, but that was his reasoning and that was his defense as to why he can fire you anytime, but you got to give 60 days notice. And I summarized it and I said, so basically you want them to serve a notice because the industry is so unstable, it affects your business. He said, the employment policies of India are way different than the employment policies of the US. I would request you to read our labor laws. And I have done that. And also, no one really enforces them, but mainly, you're the CEO. I said, be the change. They don't have to be employment policies of India, like to the degree of the law, yes, but also you're free to change it however you want. I'm sure if you said everybody's only got to work 5 hours, that would not be an illegal thing to do. His response to that was, absolutely, I could change the employment policies, but what will happen if someone just wants to leave because of any lame excuse, because he's getting paid well in another company that gave him a better offer? I mean, that's life. That happens. That happens in the United States. If you get an offer, you don't gotta leave a 2-week notice. You can just go. You get a better offer, peace, you're out. This man doesn't seem to understand that. Yeah, it sucks, but that's business. If I let one person just leave without notice, it will become a habit. I said, then you replace them and you move the responsibility of whatever that person was working on to someone else, or just leave it in limbo, and that's just business. That's what the US deals with all day, and we do just fine. He says, I would guarantee that they're free to go. I am okay with that for sure. Doesn't really seem like he's okay with it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a policy penalizing you for it. He said, if people could do that, this will ruin the entire industry. The entire IT industry would perish, and there would be no jobs left in this scenario to work, as there'll be no companies. So his argument here is that if you can just leave the company anytime you want, you will destroy the entire IT industry. Well, Anshul, why hasn't the entire IT industry of the United States gone down in flames? I said, have you ever surveyed your workforce? And I was gonna go down the route of seeing what they want instead of you deciding for them. And he said, I live and breathe with them every day. Now take note of this for when I ask him about the fake accounts. He goes on and says, I know each and every person's name and age. I have their contact details with me. As I said, they aren't my slaves. I am passionate for my workforce. That's not a lie. He said, I'm trying harder for my team every day, but this COVID situation has caused my other companies to lay off team members, cut their salaries, cut their increments. I assure you, we haven't done that. You can ask any member of our family. Anshul, number one, your employees aren't your family. And then number two, I never said that you were laying people off and cutting their salaries and cutting their increments or whatever it is. Now, no one ever said anything about that. He says, it doesn't matter, my friend. People have opinions too. I respect every opinion and I know they are genuinely concerned. But the problem is very simple. They only see one point of view. I said, you got popped for fake reviews, my man. Yeah, it's one side, but fake reviews are fake reviews. It's there. You can see it. He says, you are a true influencer. You have an impact. I said, I can see your employees leaving fake copy-pasted comments. And then he randomly switches the topic and says, do you think it's fair people abusing my sister and team in the comments? That's not criticism. And I said, bro, your sister blackmailed a man named Satish. Your sister threatened to expose personal details about him on LinkedIn because he was leaving mean comments. That's filth. I said, you can't say stop commenting or I'll expose you, especially as the COO of the company. He responded, he said, abusing with bad crap, is this even comparable? And I said, yes. One is a mean comment on the internet and the other one is illegal. Calling Fluper a fraud, scam fraudsters, and getting life threat calls on number, is that even comparable? I don't really know. If people are calling him, I don't know how they would have access to his phone number. Obviously, don't go bully and harass people. You guys know that. So if you're being a jerk, stop being a jerk. Leave them alone. However, people are entitled to their opinions and they can voice it on LinkedIn or whatever. And I said, yeah, obviously, if people are harassing you, that's bad. And he said, you promote that, my friend. So let me clarify. I've never promoted that. And I've actually never said Fluper is a fraud or a scam. Those words have never come out of my mouth unless I was reading what someone else said about them. He said, I could have done the same, made a video and many more videos speaking crap about you. And then my response to that was, that would have been dope. You should roast me. The next thing I asked him about was the Glassdoor reviews. And he got really upset about this because his instant response to that was, can you talk about fake comments and dislikes and hated messages I'm getting here and my team getting life threats here? Again, we don't know if that's actually happening, but stop being dickheads if you're doing that. But he kind of, bobbed and weaved. And I said, what? I'm just asking why your company is flagged on Glassdoor. And he sent me a screenshot that says it's not. And now this is for the India version, but if you go to the .com, not the .co.in, which is the Indian domain, it's still flagged. And like I said, he got a little triggered. He said, is it even worth it? Life threats? I think it's not a roast anymore, not even a joke, it's sad. I don't understand. I said, I'm not sure what you mean. I'm just curious about the review thing. Did you put fake reviews? If you did, it's cool, just looking for transparency. I said, I got some fake comments too on the last video, it's all good. And then I asked him, did you ask your marketing team to leave those fake comments on the last video? He said, absolutely not. Why would I be doing that? No offense, but people who want to join, they'll join. So he's saying that people will randomly say that they work for Fluper and that Fluper is a great company. But I said, well, I can see who works there and the people that are claiming to be employees aren't employees. Not to mention, one of the employees at Fluper said that they had been assigned to leave fake comments on my video. So I asked him the couple specific names of people that I highly doubt work in Noida, India, such as the name Stefan Balchunas and Jason Craig, both of which are very unlikely names of that region. Not impossible, but highly unlikely. And he bobs and weaves. As you can see, he just doesn't answer. He says, I can't pay 100 people to leave fake reviews. So after that, I asked him how much he makes at the company, and I was trying to get a number. I want to know what he pays himself. What do you pay yourself personally? And he said, enough to support my family, but I earn less than a 5-year experienced iOS developer on our team. I can bet on that. My next question was, do you earn more than everyone else in the company? And he said, many yes, but not everyone. As I said, a 5-year experienced iOS developer gets paid more than me. If you run a business, you can pay yourself a salary of $50,000, but you can make $1 million and business expense a bunch of stuff outside of your salary. So, this guy, again, he's trying to play semantics with me. I said, do you think 9.5 hours is a long day? He said, well, it is. So again, he agrees with me that 9.5 hours at the office is a long day. But it includes 1 hour of playtime. And I was like, wait, what? What is playtime? He said, it's free time, actually. And I said, why not let people decide for themselves when they want to have free time? Why put 9.5 hours into their employment contract that they have to be there? That seems outrageous. If they want to work 8 hours and go home, can they do that? And he said, well, the reason is because the teams at Fluper decided they want to work 9.5 hours every day with 1 hour of mandatory playtime. Who would vote for that? Like, I don't know if I believe him. I said, can people work 8 hours and just go home if they want to? And he said, well, every team decided the timings after their votes in the office, and then after that, we made it mandatory. So the teams at Fluper's offices voted that they all work 9.5 hours. Can the people that work at Fluper verify this for me? And then after the teams voted for it, management was like, they want to work 9.5 hours? All right, put it in writing. Let's make them sign their name to it. After I asked about if people can work 8 hours and leave, he says, absolutely possible. But nobody wants to work 8 hours and just leave because they want to talk to people. They want to know people. They want to make girlfriends and boyfriends, which was kind of odd because as a CEO of a company, you shouldn't have, girlfriends and boyfriends at work. You're just asking for like harassment claims and all sorts of like, that's, don't dip the pen in company ink. You know what I'm saying? Like, I said, are you sure about that? I imagine some people would feel the pressure to stay at work. He said, no, man. People don't feel pressured to stay at work. He said, people love their job. They love getting trained. I said, nobody wants to be the first one out of the office. He said, many do. And I said, well, why put 9.5 hours in the offer letter then? He said, many people stay till 12 a.m. in the morning. I said, that is really unhealthy. He said, I don't agree. He said, that's where they get overtime. And I said, I think there's more to life than working. And then he said, any person working 9.5 hours on Saturdays or weekends get overtime. So people that work more than 9.5 hours on weekdays don't get overtime? So then that is unhealthy. If you're staying till 12 a.m. and you're not getting overtime, that's still pretty unhealthy. He goes on to say, like, people like us have no life. We need to continuously think. And then see how he's trying to like relate to me and pull me in again? He's like, people like us. Anshul, there is no us. There's you and there's me. And there's me trying to figure out how you run your company. He says, it's not because I want money. It's so that we can improve and expand. I've seen that I'm satisfied. Money is just a medium for me to help grow my team. These aren't words, I swear. I preach that. And then he said, so can I know, am I worth your time or a loser? I said, I'm confused, honestly. Because while I was having this conversation, I was like, yeah, this guy seems like a pretty decent guy with some decent values, whatever. If I didn't have a record of the conversation to go back and look through like this, I might think that he's being genuine, but like, I don't think that I trust him, and I think that he's just doing this to try and look good, because he definitely puts on the charm, tries to add some humor here and there. And that's what I said. I said, I don't know if I trust you or if you're just being fake to look good. And he hearted that comment, which seems a little bit like an odd thing to do. And then after that, I said, I just want you to take care of your employees if they quit today or in 60 days. I want you to let them work however they want, as long as they get the job done. And I wish that you would remove the 9.5 hours from the contract, or making them repay holidays with working on Saturday. I said, I think Saturdays are crazy. He says, we have to do it because of COVID. And I said, well, you don't have to do it. You're the CEO, right? He says, otherwise company targets would fall, and we also need to cut off their salaries, which I'll never do. And I said, imagine how happy everyone would be if you sent a company-wide email that said everyone gets a 3-day weekend. And he said, well, this weekend is already holidays. We have 4 days off this month, no salaries deducted, as it should be. They're holidays. You get paid for holidays. You don't deduct salary. It's not a bonus that you didn't do that. I said, why not just 4 days off and then don't make it up with Saturday? And he said, well, because our customers would be very upset. And I said, why not just send a big company email and say, you know what, Saturday's canceled. And he said, done. Now, I'm gonna hold the people that work at Fluper to this man's promise. So if you still have to work whatever Saturday you're assigned to this month, the one Saturday he said you have to do this month, please tell me. Because I'd like to know if this man keeps his word or not. And then one of the last things I asked him was, do you really have 100K followers on LinkedIn, or are they paid? He said, I do. Nothing is paid. I swear. You can check. The post got viral. I'm not good at managing it for sure. Have decent views and millions, but it doesn't matter. The more you're known, the more people will say things about you. My response to basically everything that this man said was just this. And that's pretty much it for this conversation that has to do with everything I've roasted him for. Now, it's up to you to decide what you think, and this is basically as transparent as I can make it. And again, obviously, if you're berating these people, stop doing that. Just, if you don't want to work for him, don't work for him. And if you don't want other people to, then tell those other people. But, you know, don't harass and stuff like that. That's it. That's all I got. I think we're done with the Fluper saga. I did my due diligence. I reached out to try to give this man a fair shake, but I'll let you guys decide. Anyways, leave a thumbs up, click subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, by the way, I have some links down in the description that support the channel. I haven't said that in like 5 videos, so I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much.